Life is going to be hard, bro. Nobody said this shit was going to be easy. If you feel like your life is just you constantly putting out fire after fire after fire, you feel like you get a little bit of respite, you get a little bit of peace and quiet. You put out the fire. You sat there. You're like, oh yeah, right. I like this. I like this. Things are going to be plain sailing from here on out. And the next thing you know, bang, you get hit with something else. You get hit with something else. You get hit with something else, and it's just constant. Like you're getting pounded by life, penetrated. And if your life feels like this, what you've got to remember is this was never meant to be an easy assignment for you. And a lot of souls down here, we have it more difficult than others. Some people have this life quite easy. Some of you might even look around people in your circle or some people you know and you're like, how have they got their life? Like, why does their life look so easy? Why does everything look like it's in order? And I bet if you were to pull back the layers, they will be struggling with things deep down. I think we all are. I think it was Buddha that said life is suffering. It is an elemental part of life to suffer. But when you look at people, you recognise that they find things a hell of a lot easier, or they have a much easier time here on earth. And it isn't, we're not here to like getting singled out and people are getting punished or anything like that. We just all have completely different life paths. We're all here for completely different purposes. And if you look at it from a standpoint of karma, we all have different karma that we need to burn up, and we all are at different points about our soul's path. And with that being said, the further you go along the path, think of it as a computer game. Some people are playing on beginner level. This is generally the vast majority of the collective. So on beginner level, you've got to learn the game a little bit. You've got to play around in the world. You've got to see what it's like to be in a relationship, and see what it's like to get the job and lose the job and break up with a partner and grieve a little bit, and yeah, just play around in this game. Maybe get a little bit of financial success. Maybe, I don't know, just anything, just whatever we do to play around in this physical game. And that might be your pursuit, that might be your purpose here. And the vast majority of the collective, this is where they operate. They are operating on this level. But I am pretty sure that if you are listening to this video now, you do not fall under that beginner level category. And this isn't like a superiority complex, like, oh, we're more advanced and we're better than you. That's where the spiritual ego will kick in, because you feel more, or you recognize you're more spiritually evolved or advanced on your journey. You could then begin to look down on the mainstream collective because you are more spiritually advanced. But that's not how it is at all. I mean, if you look at it from the state of oneness, we're all created in the same, we all come from the same place, we're all going back to the same place, so we're all equal. Nobody is more superior than the other. You can look at it from if you want to get your ego on, put it on a high horse, when people call themselves the chosen ones, it can feel like that. And if you want to believe that, if that serves a purpose in your life, then brilliant, because what you believe is going to become your reality. So if you believe you're chosen, then perfect, because in reality we all are chosen. We all are part of the creator. We all carry a fractal of the creator within us, and we are all divine creators within ourselves. So you could say, yes, you are chosen in that element. I mean, the people that don't believe the chosen is the people that haven't woken up to the divine nature yet. Sipping me, I'm on caffeine free nowadays. So if your life seems like you're playing on intermediate level or advanced level, this may be because you're further along your soul's path. You may have a shit ton of karma you're trying to burn up in this lifetime. You've only got this lifetime to burn up the rest of your karma, and this might be graduation period for you. This lifetime that you're living may potentially be graduation period. Old souls typically have it way more harder on this earth game than the vast majority of the mainstream collective. Mainstream collectives struggle with little minute problems, but some people, they've got it tough. And if you fall under that category, if life is just constantly penetrating your you know what, then that might be the reason why. At the end of the day, you've got to remember that you chose to come here. You're coming here for an assignment. Your soul is here for a mission. You've got a mission to fulfill. So when we get caught up in these worldly tasks and duties, and we begin to get too immersed in this earthly realm, too immersed in the games that we play, I know, even speaking about myself, when I get too immersed and too caught up in the worldly pursuits, i.e. pursuing specific things, or even just day-to-day stuff, like having to go and fix my car, and unexpected bills appearing, and you can get too caught up in all this stuff, and then you can end up being attached too much to it all, and then that's where destruction comes, when you attach too much to these things and you start identifying with these things that are going on wrong in your life. But another angle to look at this is, right, you've chose the intermediate path. Remember that this is spiritual training. This earth game is spiritual training. This is what you're here to do. You're here to level up. You're here to evolve. And through your own evolution, through your own struggle, you then send a ripple effect through the ether and help other people evolve and grow. Remember, we are all connected. This is when you say the collective, even the people that are shut off from source, we are all still connected in some way, shape or form. The ether and the vast space that connects all. We are all connected through this. And even just like in terms of like our thoughts carry a specific vibration. Our thoughts don't die. Thought energy is energy, and it goes into the ether, and other people can pick up on the thoughts. So this is why the mainstream collective, they push out specific narratives, because then when more people focus on something, a specific thing, i.e. something that's got war or whatever's getting pushed in the media, I don't know, because I don't listen to it. I don't watch the news. I don't look at anything. I don't have a clue what's going on in the world. I don't know what wars are getting fought. I'm not interested, and I will not be looking at that stuff, because I understand the purpose behind pushing that out on the media. And that is because the more people that focus on this, the more thought power and energy that gives it. So if manifestation first exists on the causal plane, which is the mind, the mental, the thought, more people that think about this reality happening, the more chance is likely to manifest in the physical world. So this is why they want everybody focusing on their narrative. So it gives their narrative more power in the causal realm, which is obviously the mental realm, the thoughts. So it gives it more thought power to manifest in the physical. So where am I going with this? So you've chose a heavy assignment. You constantly keep getting hit, and you're wondering, why am I not as far as I should be in life? Why am I not achieving these things in life? Why am I not getting my blessings? Why am I still broke? Why am I still struggling? Why am I still suffering with these addictions? Because this is all crammed into one. Potentially, if you're an old soul, all this shit gets crammed into one for your final bout. Yeah, this is your graduation period. Gets crammed into one for you to burn all this shit out. You need to burn all this stuff out, and then you'll be evolved. And then when you transcend over to the higher planes of existence, then you burn all this stuff off. You can then choose whether or not you want to come back here. Or it may even be that you've already done all this, so you're just choosing to come back here for some specific reason. You have a deeper soul's purpose, and how that's going to manifest or identify in your life is not up to you. We have somewhat power over the creation that happens within our reality, but a lot of what we're experiencing is pre-written. The people that we meet, the circumstances, the struggles that we're experiencing, all these are being encoded. You planned them. You planned this before you come here. So you've got to understand that this is spiritual training. You may not meant to be here. Is that the word? You may not meant to have come here in order to be rich, successful, famous, and all these things that you may potentially desire. You may have come here to burn them desires out by sitting with these things. May even reach some of these destinations to realize, oh, that's not actually what my soul wants. So these desires that sit within you, whether that is financial success, whether that is fame, you've got to recognize that they're in you for a reason. They're either in you because you need to achieve them things to learn the lesson, or there may be a potential task on your path that you need to complete in order to get the resources to then assist you on your journey. And another angle to look at this is, when you are about to level up to your next level, life is going to challenge you. And the reason why, this isn't a test. A lot of people, the spiritual community, say, oh, you're getting tested. You need to pass the test. You need to do well. You need to pass the test in order to get your new reality. When that's not exactly the case. What is happening is, say, for example, you say to the universe, right, say to God, say to the universe, whatever you want to call your higher power, I want to be rich. I'm sick of struggling financially. I've struggled financially all my life. I just want abundance. I want riches. I just want some money. Not even for self-fulfilling prophecies. I just want to be stable. I just want to feel like I don't need to worry about money anymore. So when you're saying that, you're putting the energy out, the universe is going to test you. It's going to send you unexpected bills. It's going to send you struggles. It's going to send you things that are going to trigger you financially to test whether your nervous system can carry that level of success and abundance. It's not test whether you can do it or not. That God isn't trying to give you some form of ultimatum. It is simply training to develop your strength to hold that level of abundance. And people stay stuck on the same frequency and don't actually progress to the desired reality that they want, because they choose to believe the limiting belief that they've been carrying on to, that they've been holding on to. So, for example, right, you're saying you want to financial success, you get hit with unexpected bills. See, I knew it didn't work. I knew it doesn't work. And then you start latching onto the old belief then that you're not worthy, that you don't deserve this level of riches and success. But if you react the opposite way, you're realizing you can see what's happening. Right, I get what's happening. This is training for me now. I need to operate, or I need to meet this circumstance from a different place this time. I need to try and stay grounded and unreactive to the external circumstances that are being presented, because this is, once again, this is training, and you need to hold on to that belief. Hold on to that belief that you are worthy, and this is going to happen, and this is the reality that you want, because it's kind of like a test as in from the point of like, is this really what you want? Because I know for myself, I've had desires in the past, I've gone to pursue them, I've got like say 50 to 75% of the way to the goal, and I'm like, this isn't what I wanted, this isn't what I signed up for. Unfortunately for me, I don't carry on running its course. I'm very quick to cancel things and cut things out if I feel like they're not serving me anymore. So I'll just do a 360, spin it, and we'll start again. I'm more than happy to do that, because I understand that by me trying to force outcomes, it's only going to create more suffering. Whether I have put 5 years into growing or pursuing something, even if I do get into year 5 and I realise after 4 years of actually putting blood, sweat and tears into this thing, and I've actually done this with the business, I realise it's not for me, I can quite easily detach, because my peace and my soul's mission is more important. It clearly wasn't meant for me, so why would I hold on to it? Because attaching to it and holding on to it is only going to create more suffering in my life. So detach, and I just trust and have faith that there's going to be something better for me on the other end of that. So if you have chose military-based special forces training here on Earth, and you are constantly getting hit, remind yourself, this may be the reason why. You may be an old soul, you may have come here to burn all this stuff up. And whilst you are going through this pain and suffering, whilst you are struggling, this is you burning this stuff up. Remember that. You're not going to be suffering forever. The more you burn up, the easier life will become. And you become more stronger and more resilient anyway. Like right now, if you are listening to this video, you are the strongest you have ever been in your life, because you have overcome the most challenges you ever have up until this point. So what says to you that you cannot overcome what is yet to come? God is never going to give you something that you're not ready for. You're always ready for what is to come. You can always overcome these trials and tribulations that are being presented for you. If life's a bit turbulent and a bit rocky now, know that better days are coming. You know that these tides don't subside. They always surpass. If you think about on your boat, you're always in the sea. The sea can be a little bit choppy at times. You might have to ride a few waves, and then after that, once you've rid the waves, guess what happens again? You get nice, soft, nice, gentle, choppy tide, which you can just ride, and you can just surf the waves. You can just glide along the sea effortlessly. And the more waves that you ride, the more effortlessly you will be able to glide along the sea. And you become a better surfer as well. You become better at driving that boat along them waves, because you're more experienced now. So when life does present these challenges, you've got the experience, you've got the wisdom, you've got the tools to overcome these things, and remind yourself of that. Look at what you've overcome thus far. So when life does hit you, it's not that there's anything wrong with you. It may be potentially that you are just about to level up, and life is really checking whether what you say you want is what you really want. And also, you're burning karma up every time you're suffering and overcoming these things. If you're struggling with things like finances, addiction, bad relationships, you're struggling to find a partner, it never seems to work out for you. Well, there's karma there to be spent, and there's lessons there to be learned. And once you learn the lessons and you spend the karma, then you will get gifted with what you are meant to, what your desired reality, or what your soul is here to do. And that might not look like what you expected it to look like. So removing the expectations, just surrendering that to God, and just understanding that, like, maybe this, like, the idea I've got in my mind of how my life is going to look, maybe it's not going to look like that. And there's a pretty good chance it isn't going to look like that. Maybe even better. How about that? Maybe even better, beyond your wild. You may be beyond, way beyond your wildest dreams, but you've just got to keep riding these waves and understand that what you signed up for was never meant to be easy. And what you're doing, what you're overcoming, the struggles that you're facing, and the things that you are going through. This is you. You're changing the full trajectory of your timeline. You're changing the full trajectory of your soul's path when you are overcoming these things. So remind yourself of that. And I'm just probably reminding you or telling you things that you probably already know yourself, and you just need a reminder of. I know when I'm in these difficult times and I'm struggling in a bit of turmoil, sometimes that's all I need to hear. That's all I need to hear. I need to hear that, right, this is only going to be temporary. And you know that, and I know, but it can be difficult. You start trying to diagnose the problem and try and find out what's going wrong and try and start changing things in your life, and just ride the waves. The still seas are on the horizon. You've just got to get that surfboard out, man. So yeah, life is never meant to be easy. And if you are a soul that is struggling right now and you're on this special forces selection, SAS selection, then yeah, you're here for a deeper purpose and a higher purpose. So just hold on to that. Alright, I'm going to leave you on that earth once. Alright, peace, signing out. Love.